Well, Todd, here we are a couple of months later.
Yes,
and
sir.
I was talking to you earlier, and I just wanted to kind of tell people what happened to you and then where you're at today.
Okay.
And I remember you telling me, or our friend, our mutual friend said, I had this guy. He may want to come in and get treatment, but I'm not sure he wants to do any of this kind of stuff.
Right.
And we said, okay, come on in, and Wyatt spoke with you, both of you, right,
Yeah.
that day? And I didn't know until earlier, you said that he spent about an hour and a half with you.
Yeah.
And over time, I saw what was happening and how you were progressing. And I was in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say to you, hey, what's going on? And you'd say, oh, let me get up. And you'd get up and go back down. I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, well, I was taught that I'm compensating for what's happening with me with the way I'm moving, so I have to concentrate. I said, okay. A couple weeks later, I said, how you doing? And you said, Jack, I can use my hand again. And like I said, I don't know until after what was happening before. I can use my hand. I could tie my shoes. I can use my belt. And then earlier today, you said you were buying clothes around the fact that you couldn't button your pants. So.
Yeah.
I just wanted everyone to know what happened and how it happened, and then you can kind of tell us what really went on.
Okay. Well, on January 21st of 2021, I was diagnosed with ALS. It was quite a shock because I thought I was going in to have surgery on a nerve in my hand because my left hand had stopped functioning correctly and started to lock up on me. So we received that diagnosis. I went to the medical center near me in Columbus, and they confirmed the diagnosis. And they basically said, "Here's the regime that we're going to put you on. We're going to put you on this medication. It'll hopefully slow the progression. And every 4 months we'll come back in and check you have you come in and we'll check you for progress of the disease." So basically what I took that as is every 4 months we'll keep checking on you until we don't have to check on you anymore. It was not a real happy time at that point in January, February, and March. We got a phone call from a dear friend of ours, and she said, would you mind coming down, and if you're in the area, there's somebody who would like for you to meet if you'd be interested in speaking with them. I came in, and as you said, Wyatt made time for us, and we spent about an hour and a half speaking about what the situation was and what he offers. And I walked out of that meeting for the first time since January 21st with hope of a better life.
I remember this mutual friend talking to me later saying that you called her that night and said, Todd has hope. He has, didn't even have any idea what was going to happen. But that aspect alone changed everything in the spiritual end of things, I think,
Yeah, the doctor that gave him the diagnosis was just so matter of fact and didn't offer any hope or any positive, to try to have a better life, or anything that he could do to counteract any of the symptoms or anything. So, yeah, that was the first time since January, and that was in May.
That was in May.
And that's just a conversation.
First
Yeah.
time that he actually had hope, yeah.
Yeah, and we often say it's not, are you curing it? Are you stopping it? No, we just go on the, quality of life. He had no idea what was going to happen. And the other people around us, our community partners, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I mean, that occupational therapist, Carly.
Carly. She's
Believe
the one
me.
that told me I needed to pay attention when I stand up,
Right.
Because my balance is off as a result. I'll tell you this. We talked earlier about our daughter's wedding was upcoming,
Right.
and coming out of OSU, I didn't know if I was going to be able to walk her down the aisle. And I had to have a conversation with my best friend to ask him that if I wasn't here to do it or I wasn't able to do it, if he would do that for me. But on October 10th of 2022, our daughter and her wonderful husband got married, and I was able to walk her down the aisle and
Danced with her?
danced with her.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I knew you did, went down the aisle with her because
Yeah.
I often tell people the short version.
Yeah.
But, and then a sort of mutual friend of your sister's employers, whatever, tells me that he went to Italy.
Yeah.
So you must have had that planned for a while too. And before all this stuff happened, and then if there is any funny part to this, we get a text from you. Hey, I'm in Italy, and I'm going to eat the pasta here. I know I'm gluten free now, and everything has changed, but can I take any supplements to offset the gluten?
Yep.
So,
and that's one thing I noticed too is the change in diet. He told me he wanted me to go gluten free and dairy free, and I never paid attention to that. I thought, it is what it is. Well, but since I've gone off of gluten for the most part, when I do eat it, I definitely feel the difference, and I really don't think it's worth it. So how your body reacts, and that's one thing Wyatt is so able to do like nobody else that I've encountered, is take a very complex situation and break it down so I can understand it and what my body's telling me and how my body's reacting to the treatments. When I came down here, he was very blunt. He said, you've got this many things wrong with you. After 7 weeks of treatment, we did more blood work. He said, he always says, the blood doesn't lie. And he said, we're down to this many things. And it's really my energy level. I think there's a couple more things we're working on to tweak to improve my energy and endurance and that kind of thing. But just the quality of life that I've experienced since then. I mean, we left here after 7 weeks of treatment and went through the process of preparing our house to sell, selling our house, moving all our stuff into storage, and then basically moving down here. And through that all, I was, still able to maintain my diet, and I didn't do as good as I should have on the exercise with everything going on. But I noticed it, and when I got back to it, I got the use of my hand back. When my hand is I'm still able to button pants and tie shoes and
put desks together at my office.
Not very well. Not very well, but
it was funny. They told me that Todd wanted to put this desk in. It's one of those things that nobody wants to do because it's just this screw into this and hold that, and then at the end of the day, they said Todd did this, and they said you did it until your hand
my hand
started to bother you. But that was like, an hour.
Done,
you're
I almost had it together. Twice. I had to put it together twice to fix it. But
right.
I was able to, if I'd have done it right the first time, I'd have been able to do the whole thing myself.
Right.
But it's just been a great experience. Everybody that I met from from Pam, who's scheduled, she's kind of the captain of the ship in the office. Everybody that we've worked with has been awesome to work with. And,
Great.
And like I said, Wyatt, for me to be able to understand what my body's doing, and for him to be able to explain it so that I can, it's been such a huge relief.
Yeah, good.
We've
good.
really enjoyed
Well, I'm glad we sat down again, and this is where he was.
Yeah, it was in Positano, Italy.
That was a dream that may or may not have happened, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's more quality of life, and we just go day to day.
Yeah. God's good all the time.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the mutual friend of ours, if there is, anybody out there that you want to thank, if there is, there's all kinds of gods, and there's gods upstairs, and there's gods here, and she is one of a kind.
She certainly is.
We won't give her husband any credit, but they both are really great.
They are.
Oh, good. Okay, man.
All right. Well, thanks, Jack.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thanks.
Take care.